Aloha, beautiful souls. How are you doing today? This is another Soul Food Sunday. And these are medicine for my soul, and I hope they are medicine for your soul too. Today I wanted to talk about something that is really important that I've found very interesting over the last, I want to say 8 weeks. And that is letting go of emotions. You know, I've had so many people, so many clients, friends, etc. talk about traumas, pains, relationships, etc. in their lives. And it's been very interesting because I came to this realization that if we really get in touch with our inner child, and what are children, they let their emotions flow, right? They don't hold their emotions in. You know, that's part of why their emotions are so rapidly changing. If they get angry at something, they let it show. They're like, I'm angry at something. If they're sad, they let it show. I'm sad at something. And they let it out of their bodies. They let it out of their spirit. And then magically, it all changes. And so I started practicing this. Just if I'm angry, saying, you know what? I'm angry. I'm happy. I'm happy. Just saying it. Just realizing it. Acknowledging it. Right? And it's interesting because as I've done this, I've noticed it doesn't feel like there's any resistance in my life at all, whatsoever. And I've talked to other people who've tried this and they say the same thing, right? And so many times when we're talking to people and we're like holding our tongue, right? We're resisting our emotional state. And then we become triggered. Why? Because we resisted. How much better would your life be if you could state exactly what's going on for you emotionally from a non-reactive state? And what do I mean by non-reactive? I mean, don't make it about the other person, right? Even if they're being an asshole, it doesn't need to be about the other person. You can simply say, I'm angry, right? And regardless of the other person, what are you doing to acknowledge your emotions and your feelings in every moment of every day? Because in doing so, you honor that little inner child that wants to experience life moment to moment and be loved and be allowed to be angry, be allowed to be sad, be allowed to be ecstatic. What does that look like for you? Can you imagine that? And this spills over into our relationships in very surprising ways. You know, we have people in our lives who, you know, we're not perfect. Things happen, miscommunications happen, etc. No matter how wonderful you are at communication, things are going to come up. And how wonderful is it when you can say, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling hurt, I'm feeling like I need to be understood, listened to, etc. Those are first emotions and then needs, right? But how wonderful it is that we could state what's going on for us emotionally, and therefore being vulnerable and it's not about the other person. We're not reacting, we're stating what's true for us. And we're stating, this is what's true for me right now. Regardless of your experience, I'm not devaluing your experience. I'm simply stating my own truth in my own experience. And that's a whole set of understandings, right? Because when we allow ourselves to state what's going on for us, to express what's here, what's in our soul, without making it about the other person, even if they've done some stupid things, right? But stating just what's true for us right now, we are acknowledging ourselves, regardless of the other person's reaction or non-reaction or whatever it's going to be. We are acknowledging ourselves. We are witnessing ourselves. We are seeing ourselves. We are validating our experience, our emotions. What a wonderful act of self-love, right? And what is the consequence of this? Because there are good and bad consequences to everything in life, right? Well, something very interesting happens. When we acknowledge what is true for us, and we stand in that act of self-love, we can then allow the other person to do the same and witness them as they are right now, without judgment, without expectation, and without attachment. Because as within, so without. So first we have to acknowledge ourselves in that act of self-love in order to acknowledge somebody else. And when two people see each other in that vulnerable space, anything is possible. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope it makes a world of difference in how you love yourself, show up in the world, and show up for others.